Hello CWE students. In this video, I'm going to be going over cooperative work experience roles and responsibilities. The roles that I am going to review are the student, employer, and instructor roles for this course. Your first role is to be the bridge between the college and your employer. Your second role is to complete your assignments. And 3, be a responsible employee or intern. In your role as the bridge between the school and your employer, your first task is to make sure your employer is willing to comply with the requirements of the college for CWE. The requirements are not burdensome, but they do take some time. I will talk about those in a minute. The CWE Employer Handbook explains it all in detail, and your CWE Specialist or CWE instructor would be happy to help in answering any questions you may have. You can retrieve the Employee Handbook from the CWE webpage under Employee Resources. You can access it from the main Hancock webpage by clicking the link, scrolling down until you find CWE, scrolling down until you see employer information on the left-hand side, and the employer handbook is here. Once your employer has agreed, it is your job to arrange a meeting with you, your supervisor, and CWE instructor for a work site visit. An in-person meeting is best. However, under certain circumstances, an alternate to in-person site visit is allowed. This determination will be made by the CWE Specialist. Work with your CWE instructor to arrange this meeting. During this meeting, you, your supervisor, and CWE instructor will work to identify your learning objectives are approved by your supervisor and appropriate for the length of the term. Your learning objectives or goals should be created to be reached by the end of the term. Your objectives should be shared with your CWE instructor before the meeting, even if you are waiting for your objectives to be approved by your supervisor. Getting the goals shared with your CWE instructor early will allow time to make adjustments and clarify them before the meeting, as it will be the main topic of discussion. Now, about your second role in the course, which is to complete assignments. Reminder that even though you are working to earn college credit, there are required assignments that need to be completed for the course. As shown here, these are the forms that are required by the first week of the term, and these forms below are to be turned in at the end of the term. I will show you how to access the forms for your CWE course. The first way you can access your cooperative work experience forms is retrieving them from the main cooperative work experience landing page. You will click on how to register. You will scroll all the way down and you will find them at the bottom of the page. The second way to access the forms for CWE will be through your Hancock College Job Speaker account. You would click on Learn More under Work-Based Learning, and as you can see, the forms are all on the right-hand side. They are numbered as a reminder as which forms are to be turned in from the beginning of the term until the end. The first 3 forms, Student Data Form, Workers' Compensation, and Release of Liability, are due by the first week of the term. During orientation, how to complete these forms will be reviewed at that time. The job site agreement and learning objective form do need to be signed by your supervisor. Although it states that they are due by the first week of the term, these 2 forms can be turned in by the time you have your job site visit. However, your learning objectives can be shared with your instructor prior to the meeting. Remember that your CWE instructor will want to know what your learning objectives are before the meeting. However, the completed form identifying what the objectives are with you and your supervisor's signature is due at the end of the meeting. The following forms are due by the end of the term, and if not turned in, could mean that you do not pass the course: the timesheet and the employer evaluation. You also have a student report or student essay that is a reflection of your work experience and due at the end of the term. The instructions on how to complete the student report can be found in your student handbook. It can be viewed and downloaded from this page. The next two forms are a way for you to evaluate yourself and how you work toward your objectives, as well as an evaluation of your employer and job site visit. You do receive grade points for completing them. The due date for turning in the remaining forms can vary. Just know that it is around finals week of each term. So again, as a reminder, there are forms that are mandatory even if you do an excellent job during your work experience. Without turning in the forms could result in not passing the course. So be sure to turn in all assignments by their due date. Last, your third role as a responsible employee or intern. Performing well at your work site will not only improve your grade, but it could result in a letter of recommendation, a helpful referral, or even a job offer. A lack of performance on your part could not only hurt your future, but could damage the reputation of the college work experience program and make it more difficult for future students. Next, what is my CWE instructor's role? Your CWE instructor is there to provide any needed supervision or guidance during your work experience. They will assist you with clarifying your learning objectives, required assignments, and will help monitor your progress toward your learning objectives. Your instructor will also attend a site visit that you arrange with you and your employer, and assign your final grade. If you do not have a current CWE instructor, the CWE Specialist will work with you to match you with an instructor. Turning in your completed paperwork and assignments will be coordinated with your CWE instructor. What is your employer's role? First, your employer's role is not difficult. However, make sure he or she is willing to support you in the process before you commit to using your job for the CWE course. First, your supervisor has to be willing to meet with you and your instructor to go over your learning objectives that you clarify between both. 2, the employer is responsible to supervise you during the internship or work experience and provide feedback on your strengths and potential areas of growth. Your employer will be required to sign your timesheet, participate in a site visit with your instructor, and complete your midterm and end of term evaluation. If your employer cannot do this, then you will not want to use your current job for CWE. As your CWE specialist, I am the liaison between you, the CWE instructor, the college, and your employer. My role is to provide information on enrollment, meet with you during your mandatory orientation, and review all required paperwork for the course. If any challenges arise during the semester, all parties are encouraged to contact the CWE specialist to work out solutions. As a reminder, in order to register for CWE, you do already have to be working or at least start working by the first day of the term. If you need any assistance accessing jobs on our job speaker platform or want help building your resume, job searching, feel free to reach out to your Career Center staff located in Building A, Room 207, or call to make an appointment at 805-922-6966, extension 3421. The appointment can be scheduled on campus or virtually. Reminder to complete the necessary forms due by orientation to your CWE instructor and CWE specialist. or you could be dropped from the course. If you have any questions about your role or responsibilities, again, feel free to reach out to your CWE specialist. Thank you.